Hello, everyone. We have Connor here, who is disgustingly good at outbound Dream 100 and has had some absolutely ridiculous results. So he's kind enough to come on and talk about the things he's been doing. This man's got quite the story, and he's actually been able to scale pretty nastily. So I'm very looking forward to getting into that. But tell us about your offer, how you're doing today, etc. Here for it.
I'm doing well, mate. I'm tired, primarily because I was up late last night because I've got too many bloody clients, to be perfectly honest with you. And it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. I was up till 2 a.m, got a new baby, and then he had me up as well. So I'm running on about 4 hours sleep. I'm doing well. The offer that's keeping me busy is Facebook ads and funnels on a very basic level. Just selling 90-day sprints. Hey, we'll come in, we'll get the foundation set up correctly, we'll run your ads for 90 days, we'll give you as many batches of ad creatives that you need in that time to essentially figure out what your cost to acquire a customer is. And then after that 90 days, we go on to things such as rev share and whatnot to truly partner with them if it all works out, which more often than not, it does.
Awesome. I love to hear that. And the interesting thing about you is you just said that you had too many clients. So your client acquisition's obviously working super well for you, but you started doing Dream 100, got some crazy results. I think the first question I have is like, why? Why even do Dream 100 if you're signing so many clients?
Well, the agency's only a few months old. As you said, I've had a bit of a wild story to get here, which we can get into if you want to. But I hold the fundamental belief that Dream 100 outbound is the best way to acquire customers, I think, ever on the planet. It's the only method that allows you to truly select exactly who you want as a client. And that is unique to Dream 100 outbound, whether you got the balls to do it your way, which is incredible. Whether you've done some of the stuff that I've done in the past, which is sending coffins in the post with letters titled "The Death of Your Business." The beauty of it is you can say, here's a list of everyone that I think I can get outrageous results for, and I'd love them to be a client because I think they're fun. And then you get to snipe them off one by one. And if you've got a list of 10 and you pick up 2, that's pretty good going.
Really good. Like a 20% close rate on, and the thing is, you're targeting whales. You're targeting who you want to work with. That's the thing.
Yeah. Compared
to cold email and the other channels.
What's the biggest complaint everyone has in business? It's that, business would be great if we didn't have clients. Well, That's only true if you deal with rubbish clients. If you can correctly identify this, it's going to be so much fun to work with them. Not only does that come across in your outbound because you're enthusiastic, you're more willing to go in above and beyond to deliver that value up front to get them intrigued in you. Oh, what's better than that? What's better than that? And as you said, it's the whales. You get to harpoon the whales. So I do meta ads. The way I see that is it's really great at raising your baseline income. So let's make an argument. Say you make 50k a month and you're doing that, working your ass off. You're hustling, you're doing organic, maybe you're doing mass outbound, like big cold email campaigns, and you've got to about 50k. You bolt on Facebook ads on top of that, you're probably going to do a double, and it's going to smooth out those peaks and troughs. And you haven't got to be good every day. You just got to be good once a month in front of camera when you feel your creatives. You bolt on Dream 100 on top of that. Well, that's how you go, in my mind, from 100 to 200k a month. That's how you do another double, because you're just throwing those spears at those big whales that are happy to pay 10 times your regular fees.
Exactly. Awesome. So could you walk us through your process, the things you were able to maybe pick up from myself, just like how you were able to, because cat's out the bag, you got some crazy results. If you're okay sharing that, like how you're able to get those 3 piffs.
Of course. So it always sounds insane when I talk about it. So obviously came into your world, learnt more about your style of Dream 100s, about making it far more entertaining, far more personable. And I applied that to, what I've been doing I've had an 11-year career in business now, I'm 29. And as a result, I've sent out 11 Dream 100s, which is barely anything in this particular style. And I've had 3 15K closes off the back of that. I've had one 2,100 downsell, and I've got another meeting booked for when I get back from Vegas next week. So it's going pretty well. I've only had 2 people block me, and that's more a testament to how annoying I am in the follow-up as opposed to the quality of the Dream 100 deliverable. And hey, I'd much rather be blocked than ignored.
Exactly, because I was literally saying this in one of my YouTube videos, like attention is the most important thing. So firstly, that's ridiculous. That's the most insane result I've had of anybody. So what were the exact things you were doing for people? Because obviously, like, you're not a beginner, you have a good understanding, but you were able to turbocharge it. What was that looking like?
So from learning from yourself and coming in and watching how you did it, I felt like I had it 80% there. And we, through a few back and forths, you gave me kind of that final 20% to, I think, really nail it between the people that I wanted as client, really nail it between their eyes, that took it from, oh, this is just an outbound with a lot of effort that's gone into it, fair play to them, I might give them a meeting out of pity, to sending Dream 100 deliverables that not only blow them away with the amount of effort that goes into it, but as I said before, really hits them between the eyes that make them go, fuck, I'd be stupid not to meet with this guy. Instead of, I'll give him a meeting because he's gone to all this effort. They're sat there thinking, shit. In fact, one of them said, I get, no joke, 15 a day of these minimum. This is the first one I've ever responded to and the first time I've ever booked a call. And he went on to a 15K deal. So yeah. It works, man. It works.
It works. I've literally had that exact, I have like hundreds of people being like, I hate cold outreach, but thanks for this cold outreach. I'll even sometimes get it when people ignore me. They're like, I'm not interested, but this was really good. And
it's less offensive to them.
Absurd. Yeah. I think it is. It's also like reciprocation, because they've seen like what you're clearly very good. You know what you're talking about. That's why even if they're not interested, they're like, okay, I have to respond. And that's just ridiculous. So did you have any reservations about this? Like when I had like my strategy even before, were you always just like, I'm just going to rip and roll?
I've always been a rip and roller, man. I've been sending stuff in the post for some time and then cold calling the people that receive the various bits and bobs that I send in the post. So as I said, tiny coffins, coconuts, got to be careful saying tiny coffins, but outrageous stuff in the post. So no, I had no reservations whatsoever. As I said before, I truly believe it's one of the greatest customer acquisition methods available to us today.
It's nasty. So I think the next thing I'm wondering, and everybody watching this probably wondering, is where you're going to take this moving forward, because you've clearly got a knack for it. You've signed some massive deals with it. Is your intention to keep doing it, ramping up? Like, how do you see this all working out?
That's an excellent question. Right now, as I said, with your help, it's made me so busy. I've got my head down trying to hire people to essentially relieve the bottleneck of, bloody hell, I've got all these clients that need work doing for, because it's all happened very quickly. But once that's cleared and I've got clearer infrastructure in place, I've already got a couple of team members. I think I'm going to need a couple more. My ambition is essentially to just get me doing this full time, because it's the single greatest piece of leverage I have within the business, and I believe it is the one thing that will set me apart from every other agency going after the ICP, because there's millions of agencies. It's the easiest business model to start from your bedroom. So therefore, there's tons of guys doing it. And the first thing they do, because they got no money, is they do outbound. The problem is they make it look like everyone else. The stuff that you've shown me means it looks completely different. As I said, I got that message. I got that client even who said, this is the first time I've ever booked a call from one of these. So if I can get to a point, which I will, There's no doubt about it, where I can be doing this for 4 hours a day. That's my goal, essentially, because I fundamentally believe at that point the sky's not even the limit. You know, the gravitational pull of the universe might be.
I love that. That's so nasty. And I think maybe the last thing, because every single person has said this, and I'm just curious if it's the same for you. I think I know the answer, because you had 3 bloody 15K piffs. When they got on the call, what was it like?
Oh man, the sales call's completely different. So as I said, I've come from a background where I was slamming phones. I was doing 200 dials a day. You know, I'm not afraid of the hard work and having those, putting the hard yards in to get a meeting on the calendar, let alone win a client. So coming from that world where they don't want to be on the phone, they're far more apprehensive of who's this random guy that gave me a call and made all of these big claims and promises. To go from that to these calls off the back of the Dream 100s, they turn up, and it sounds wanky, but it's true. They turn up pre-sold. They go, hey, no one's ever done that amount of research into our company before, and for that reason alone, we believe that you get us. So let's just work out the finer details of the contract and let's get moving. I haven't had to do any hard pitching. I haven't had to do objection handling. I haven't had to do 3-pillar pitches and all of that jazz that everyone else has got their heads down in. I turn up and like, hey guys, it's nice to finally meet you because I've had my heads down researching you for the last month. It's great to meet you. I know everything about you. It's almost like a parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
And they like it. They turn up with a smile on their face. They compliment you. They say it's great. Every time I've said, well, have you got any questions? It's very clear that here's exactly what I want to do for you. And they go, no, not really. We're pretty much sold.
No,
what's the details? How do we get going? And that's not a lie. And you go from, I don't want to say dreading the calls on your calendar because...
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think you go in with far more confidence. You stand up a bit taller, your shoulders are back, and you don't go into it thinking, right, I've got to work really hard for this. You're actually excited to meet them because it's someone that's been on your dream client list, and you've gone through all of this effort to get I don't want to say all of this effort because that's not fair. You've put the graft in to get them on the calendar, so you turn up excited as opposed to, got my work cut out here.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'm so happy that's been the case for you because every single person that's been employing these strategies, they've all said the call is like, it's almost like comical. The prospect's like, look, it's almost like the first 5 minutes is them complimenting you, being like, that was so good. No one's ever done that. Thank you so much. Like, I remember when I did it for Andre when I flew to Lebanon, we didn't even do discovery. We spoke about Lebanon for 10 minutes and he said, all right, how much? And I was like, it's this. And he was like, cool, take my money. That was the conversation. And I came off the call and I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's different. The last one I did, just to share my experience, to give it a little bit more color, turned up to the call. It was exactly that. It was 5 minutes of, wow, this is amazing. That must have taken you so much time. We really appreciate it. And then I just pulled up a couple of SOPs. I was like, right, so in terms of the tactical stuff, I pulled up an SOP. This is the first thing we'll do to fix X, Y, and Z. The second thing I really want to do is X, Y, and Z. What do you think? And it was a double thumbs up. It was so easy, so easy. None of these pain cycles, none of these, can you tell me more? Can you give me an example about that? That's interesting. Yeah. None of that feigning intrigue.
Yeah, it's rough. But that is absolutely absurd, and it fills me with so much joy that you've been able to close that big of deals and basically essentially just turn cold traffic into warm. So yeah,
that's the best way of putting it, Dan. The cold traffic feels like warm traffic. And the cool thing is, I haven't done it quite as brazenly as yourself, posting it directly onto LinkedIn and just tagging the people in. However, on my email list, I've been given little sneak peeks. So I say, hey guys, I've found another target. you're you're on this journey with me. I've found this target. Here's what I'm going to send them. I'll let you know exactly how it goes. And I get replies to those emails saying, wow, this is amazing. Can we talk? Because they're seeing the Dream. Yeah, so exactly. They're seeing the Dream 100 that I'm sending to other people, but I treat it like they're on the inside. They're my little insiders club. They're people who have been on my email list for years, and they go, oh, this is amazing. Let's do this together. I want that.
That's so smart. Oh my God.
Yeah. So that works as well. So obviously I've closed a few more deals than just those 3 from my email list and whatnot. And it's, a good couple of them have come from that strategy right there.
I'm going to write that down because I haven't. Yeah, that is, well, goodness gracious. But there you have it. Someone that's employing this to the nth degree and going absolutely crazy with it. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. This was incredible.
Thank you, man. Thank you for all of your help. You really helped refine those finer details that I think have really given it the juice. And I think more importantly, myself, the confidence to have a lot of fun with it. So if anyone is listening to this, which I'm sure they are, they'd be an idiot not to reach out to you, because Dream 100 is the greatest form of outreach on the face of this earth, and you're the best at it, man.